What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to LoreBoys, a brand new channel that we set up yesterday, as it happens, looking at different lore and stories and conversations in and around film, TV, and gaming. And today, we're going to be looking at one of the upcoming series in the Star Wars saga and franchise as a whole. As you can see, this is Andor. I'm really excited to have a look at this, more specifically about 5 animated characters we could see popping up in Andor. Me, myself, I'm a massive fan of the animated side of Star Wars, be it Clone Wars, Bad Batch, or Rebels. They're the big 3 that I constantly go back to, and I'm really excited to see how they could then be refolded into the new sort of live-action settings we are seeing. We've seen Cad Bane obviously make the jump up in the Book of Boba Fett. We've also seen Bo-Katan make the jump up in Mandalorian, and this is going to be a look at some of the characters we can expect to see making that jump up from animated into live action moving forward. And I think there's going to be a lot more on this. I think during the pre-sort of Rebellion period is where we're likely to see a lot of characters obviously following on from Clone Wars and Rebels. That's where the bulk of the animated content is, and obviously Bad Batch is based in between those two as well. So it's going to be exciting. More than anything else to see which characters we do see pop up. As always, friends, do make sure you are getting involved in the channel by hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. I'm really excited to get into this list, and we are going to kick off today's proceedings with looking at a character that a lot of people did fall in love with very, very quickly. A character that we know could well be appearing regardless, and that is, of course, Rex. A big character in the Star Wars animated realms. In general, a huge part of the Clone Wars, obviously a previous Clone Commander, and a character that I feel has always been liked by the audience. You know, he's a character that's always been seen as doing the right thing. He's a character that has been very well kind of designed and created both in Clone Wars and obviously in Bad Batch. We see him pop up as well, and then we also see him pop up in Rebels as part of Ahsoka's plan to kind of pull together a rebellion and bring him involved. Obviously, the previous Clone Commander has a ton of experience in warfare, and Andor, I feel, is going to be a series that is very much focused around getting people that can get a job done, and Rex has proved time and time again he's most certainly one of those people. It was really exciting as a fan to see him reappear in Clone Wars, not in Clone Wars, in Rebels following on from Clone Wars, and of course to see him pop up in Bad Batch. He's a really lovable character, and obviously we know Tamira Morrison is actively up for doing a lot of Star Wars work, and we saw him appear as literally a cameo in the most recent series Kenobi, which was really exciting. Alongside this, obviously, we've seen him pop up in the Book of Boba. We saw him in Mandalorian playing Boba Fett, and he is essentially the character that can play all of the clones, and he is in a position now where he can play older clones, and I think he will be obviously the one cast to play Rex if Rex does make an appearance in this series. I would love to see Rex make an appearance because, again, it's a nice tie-in, legitimizing a lot of the stuff that actually went on during Clone Wars as a series and in Rebels as well, and I feel that's something Star Wars are really trying to do at the moment, legitimizing those two kind of platforms, because they are two very well celebrated ones as we go. Another character that I think from Rebels in particular that we are very likely to see is, of course, Hera Syndulla. Now, this is a character that has, for some reason, not appeared in live action yet, although we've heard her name appear in live action. We've seen her appear in the games. We've seen her appear in different series as well. And it's crazy to think how many times she has actually appeared. I've got a list of everything on screen. Obviously, she's a lead character in Rebels, and again, a character that people fell in love with very, very quickly. A young Hera appears in Bad Batch, as also alongside this we also see her appear as one of the leads in Rogue Squadron, which is obviously quite a popular Star Wars game, a very difficult Star Wars game, but she appears animated in that as well, and obviously her name is mentioned in Rogue One as well. She's already rumoured to be returning for the Ahsoka series. And obviously those two had a lot of interaction in Rebels, but she strikes me as a character that is obviously part of that early resistance. She's one of the ones that actually is part of that initial rebellion forming, obviously being the captain of the Ghost and all the different things that go on there in Rebels, which is basically her story. If we break it down, it's basically the story of her team. She's the captain, and it follows her sort of different crew members as they come and go. Now, this is where it gets really exciting, because I think she would be a very exciting character in a live-action setting. She'd be great in Rebels. She was great in Rebels. She'd be great in the Andor series. I think she's got that kind of covert ability about her. We see her go on numerous different kind of behind enemy lines missions, and I feel that's what a lot of Andor is going to be about. It's going to be making contacts. It's going to be getting information. It's going to be moving around in places that he shouldn't be, and again, doing things that he doesn't want to do. So I think this is going to be quite a potential one. I would love to see it. The fact that she's rumoured for a later series already makes it not as likely, but I would definitely like to see this in this series. Now, someone that I think has been long overdue a live-action appearance, someone who I really, really do like as a character, someone who is a big part of numerous different areas of the Star Wars franchise is, of course, Hondo. Now, Hondo, for me, is a character I really, really like, obviously played by Jim Cummings in both Clone Wars and Rebels. Again, a character that is so kind of associated with that concept of a wider Star Wars universe. He's also the voiceover at Galaxy's Edge, which is obviously the Star Wars theme park, and he has made so many appearances in Clone Wars and Rebels, and you sort of see his character arc turn. He's never really a good guy. He's never really a bad guy. He's always just looking for a profitable scenario. And I think this is going to be a really good example of that coming into play. Obviously, he's an expert smuggler. He's an expert at kind of getting jobs done when needed. And that's what Andor's going to be looking for. There's going to be pirates in this series. We're likely to see bounty hunters as well. So I really think we could well see the return of Hondo, and him finally making his appearance in live action would be really, really exciting. Again, out of the two characters I always wanted to see in live action, it was Cad Bane and Hondo, so I'm really hoping this is one that makes sense. And I think there are so many different avenues this could work with. Again, that sort of smuggling route. The Rebellion is so closely tied with kind of smuggling and getting stuff in and getting information. And I really think that sort of piracy angle could be a good way of looking at this, especially when Andor kind of makes the point in Rogue One of saying, like, he's done lots of things he didn't want to do. That's what rebellions are kind of, a big part of a rebellion is doing things you don't want to do. And obviously he joins up with the team in Rebels towards the end of that series. So again, really good potential on this one. This is one I think I would love to see. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. Again, these are just predictions at the end of the day. Again, guys, if you are enjoying the video, do make sure you're getting involved and hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page. Turning notifications on, of course, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. And we've got more to get into. This next one, I feel, is a little bit of a cheat, but we are going to be looking at the cast, obviously, of the Fallen Order game. Now, this is an interesting one because we don't really know where they're going to go with this as a game series. There's obviously a trailer for the second one that's out there now, but I think the cast of Fallen Order itself is a very exciting area to kind of dive into. Obviously, we've got Cal Kestis, we've got Sarah Junda, we've also got Grease, Driftus, and Drytus, and Merrin, who are all kind of parts of the crew by the end of it. I would love to see Merrin's links to kind of Dathomir explored through this, how Dathomir actually becomes a part. Does it become a part of the rebellion? Does it stay kind of completely standalone? We don't really hear what happens. Obviously, we hear a lot about Mandalore in the sort of post the sort of post-Republic era. We don't tend to hear much about Dathomir in the post-Republic era, apart from Maul's exploits during Rebels and when we see him pop up in Solo as well. So I think there's a lot of stuff to explore here. Obviously, there's a lot of ties to the Inquisitors. We don't really know what happens to the Inquisitors during the time of Rogue One, and obviously Andor, there could still be Inquisitors out there. We don't know if there's going to be any Jedi involved. That could be something we see Cal Kestis get involved when we know by the end of Fallen Order that this team is kind of just going, look, let's just kind of help people. Let's just go and be a part of something that the Empire isn't. Let's try and do our bit. And I think these are three characters we could potentially see. Obviously, Grease in there as well. Grease is a good pilot, man. We see him pull off a few good piloting moves, and the Rebellion always needs pilots, so that could be something we see tie in. I don't think this one is particularly likely, but I think there are definitely elements of this we could see, and obviously we know that Cal Kestis has a rumoured series on the way as well, so there's every possibility, and I think if you're going to bring someone into a series from a game, they need to have made appearances in live action beforehand. So I think that could be a good way of tying this in. I don't really know where else they could tie this in, given the current schedule. We know Ahsoka's going to be set much more down the line, obviously post-Empire. So I think this is probably the only place we could see these guys introduced into live action at any time soon. So I'm really hoping that happens. And obviously that's a bit of a cheat. There are three characters on there, but I'm casting it as one because it is the Fallen Order kind of cast. And then finally on this list, a character that I would love to see happen in live action, and that is, of course, the one and only Chopper. Now, in an article that I absolutely love from Inside the Magic, we see that with over 50,000 on-camera kills, Chopper has the second most kills out of any Star Wars character associated with the Rebellion, seemingly only next to Luke Skywalker, whose kill count is estimated at around 370,000 following the destruction of the Death Star. So, Chopper is a maniac. This is a droid that really does not care. He will lamp people. He will throw people into deep space. He causes a lot of people to die, basically. And he doesn't seem to have an issue with that. Obviously, if Hera's going to be involved, you can't imagine Hera being in a series without Chopper being involved as well. There's a big kind of emphasis on droids in the Rebellion as well. I've got a funny feeling that this series is where we're going to see the relationship between Andor and K2SO kind of come together. Obviously, K2SO is almost a bit of comedic relief himself in Rogue One. A lot of the time he's quite a funny character. I think this series is going to be where we actually see their relationship form. But again, if Hera was to pop up in this series, kind of, I don't know, spearheading something, even if it's just a cameo of her sending him out, of her sending Andor out on a mission, Chopper's going to be in the backdrop. We're not going to not see Chopper. We saw Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian season 2, and we also saw R2D2. You can't not see R2 if you see Luke. You know, you saw the same in the Book of Boba scene with Luke and R2. We also saw R2. So I think when you have a droid that's so closely associated with the character, they're always going to find a way of popping up. And yeah, this is something I would love to see. Guys, that's it for this one. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Which animated characters would you like to see make their first live action appearance in the Andor series? I'm really keen to hear from each and every one of you, so do let us know in the comments down below. And as I said before, please do make sure you are hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, all that good stuff. We're trying to grow this channel into something very enjoyable, and something where we can explore different areas of lore and different areas of kind of TV and series and all of those good things. So do make sure you are getting involved. That's it from us though. Have a fantastic rest of the day, and we shall see you all next time. Peace.